Hey everybody, Laura here from Little Lights by Laura. Just wanted to show you a quick tutorial on how to make a stencil. You can use cardstock, you can use vinyl, contact paper, there's actual stencil material, all kinds of options. But the biggest trouble that people have with stenciling is all of those little circles, like the A's and the O's and the E's, and in some fonts, the tops of L's and K's. So I just want to show you real quick how to take care of that problem. So let's try Happy Thanksgiving. And okay, and then let's make this bigger and let's zoom in so you can see what I'm talking about. Alright, I'm going to change the font to something that has a lot more like circles and fun stuff. That's a good one. Okay, so first of all, if you haven't seen any other videos of mine, you'll notice that I do this a lot with most of my fonts. And that is that I'm going to offset it. And I want to do this because I like my lines a little bit thicker, and I don't like having a really difficult time weeding. So let's try 015. Okay, that's kind of thin, so I'm going to undo that. I'm going to undo it twice. And I'm going to delete. I'm going to go, let's try 025. And I'm going to mute my screen real quick. Okay. That might work. Let me just take that away. Okay, I'm okay with that. So right now it's kind of all in pieces, which is fine. I can group it if I want, but I actually want to leave it ungrouped. So right now I'm going to zoom in and actually let's paint this guy. Let's make him, we'll make him orange for Thanksgiving. Why not? Okay. So if you can see here, I kind of have that little sliver on the H. That's because I made my line thicker. Had I left it, it would have been a bigger hole. But that's okay. I actually want to leave that there. So I'm just going to double click. I'm going to zoom in and I'm just going to delete that point. So now my H is left without any holes. If you don't like that and you would have preferred to leave that there, then you can just kind of pull this apart. Okay, but if you do that, you then have to take your knife tool and you have to make a cut so that when you go to cut this out on your silhouette, you can capture that space. I don't like that on that H, so I'm not going to make all that trouble for myself. That's just silly. So let's zoom back in to where we were. Alright, and I'm going to delete those points. Double click and delete point. Okay, beautiful. Now, the A. This is where we're going to get our knife tool, and we just want to click it so that we want to draw our line as close to the body of the A as we can, but it's okay if it's not perfect. Just don't catch any more of the A. Then from there, you're just going to double click, and again, you can zoom in and delete this point, and you can delete that point too. Okay, I'm going to zoom back out and show you. Now this piece will stay connected with the rest of the piece. Alright, I'm going to go here. Now just like on the H, I don't like this, so I'm just going to delete, making way less work for myself. And there's still that little piece. You can still grab it, delete, keep going till it's gone. Same thing here. Sometimes you can get lucky and you can like select it all and you can delete it by hitting your delete key. Sometimes you just got to keep clicking. Okay, now on the P's, same thing. You want to take your knife tool and just make a really small cut right through the center. There you go. And that actually might be enough. Yep, that'll be okay. Same thing with the Y. What you can do, sometimes I go through and I'll do another cut line really close to the other one, And of course I missed an itty bitty teeny tiny piece. Go figure. You can just cut that again. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys that here on the P's just to make it a little bit more of a space, because that way when you go to cut it out, your machine's going to have a little bit more to pick up. It just makes it easier. Okay, and the same thing, you would just do this throughout the whole way. Now, you can choose if you want your cut to be down here or up here. I always try and conceal it the best I can. And honestly, once this is all said and done, you're not going to notice all of these little teeny tiny marks. It's just going to look completely fine to the naked eye. So I'll just show you a couple more. Like I'll do this K real quick because this is a little intricate. So I'm just going to draw my cut line here, and I'm going to draw it here as well. And then if you look really close, I kind of missed a piece here. You can either cut that or you can just grab it and hit the delete key on your screen, or on your keyboard, sorry. Now here you notice I have a little mistake. It's okay, you're just going to double click and you're just going to delete this point, and it brings it right back over. And now that mistake is much smaller and not as obvious. Now you want to go through and either delete this little circle or make a cut. So you have two options. This font's way more intricate, so you have lots of little cuts you got to make. You're either going to have to do that to your S, or you're just going to have to double click and delete this guy and fill him in. That's what I would do if I were doing this for an actual sign. Okay? And then obviously do your A and so on and so forth. So, okay. Let's zoom out. So even from a distance, you can't really see all of those little cuts. So then once you're done, you want to make this a compound path so that everything cuts out nice and neat. If you want, you can release that compound path, and that's going to fill in all those circles again. Don't worry about it. It's not going to do anything crazy. Let's say I just wanted my sign to be stacked instead. Then I would make this a compound path. And then I would make, whoops, I have happy selected, so I'm just going to go shift, click, make that a compound path. Then I'm going to select both of them, and I'm going to line them up. Whoops, we just want to center them. So line center and center the page. And then let's do 10. And let's go bigger because my H is hanging off the edge. There we go. Let's center that to the page. Perfect. Now I'm going to show you one more trick. When I'm cutting stencils, and remember, this is not completely done, but I'm just trying to get you guys through this tutorial. I like to draw a box around my stencil. And the reason I do that is because that way, especially because I use cardstock as my stencil, this box that I just drew, if I were to go over to my cut tool, that box is going to cut out. So what I like about that, and now that I'm looking at this, my happy is a little too high. I don't like how close that is, so I'm just going to bump it down a smidge. But what I like to do is I like to draw that box, because that way the box will kind of cut my parameter for me on the cardstock, and when I go to lay my stencil on my piece of wood, I just have to literally line up this pre-cut line for me, and I know that I'm in good shape and everything's level. So that's just a quick idea on how to slice and use your knife to make a stencil. Hope that helps you guys. Let me know, post in the comments below if you want me to do any specific tutorials for you. Hope this helps. Enjoy!